Hello and welcome, I'm Mystical, this is Mystical Gaming, and we are back into Watcher Realms, and we are looking at the Wasteland Titan. The reason for this mostly is because I'm here. So if anyone else is here as well, welcome. So I've got to get all three of these done. So that's realistically what I'm doing. So I hadn't really looked at them or paid that much attention to it beforehand. I gave it a whirl today. It wasn't that hard to get S with a bit of knowledge. So let's jump into that to start with then, shall we? So let's do a challenge. I'm going to start the fight, and that's my thing. We're not doing a run, we're just going to have a look at some stuff. So looking at some stuff is important. Let's skip the intro, we don't need that. And look at the boss, does 49k, then they do another 49k, and then they do another 49k, and then they go into his Roar of Sands, and they do 18, and then he does 36 because he hits with both hands. That makes sense. And then he goes back around that cycle, and he keeps doing that. Now what's he actually doing? Let's have a look at the monster manual. So, Endless Wrath. The Wasteland Titan's attack will gradually increase after entering the boss rush phase. So we're not in that at the moment, we haven't got to worry about it. Brilliant. Titan's Punch, that's the one he does on the ground there. Deals high physical damage one time to Iona and inflicts 1 stack of anti-healing effect. Sands of Roar deals physical damage 3 times consecutively to all targets and inflicts 1 stack of anti-healing effect. Sorted. Divine Being becomes immune to all debuffs and dots. Brilliant. So that means you can't put like attack down on him or anything like that. So, and then control immunity, he's immune to all CC effects except slow. Well, he's not moving, so we're not going to slow him, so that bears no relevance to us at all anyway. Right then, now with that knowledge we can look at some stuff now. So we can continue from here. Right, MVP of this for me is Midan. There she goes. She's healing for 66,000. She heals that target for. Okay, and then off she goes. She's going to be healing that for 66,000. Now she's healing for 55, and we get 50. And now each time he attacks, there, 50, and now it's dropped to 44. Then they do an attack. Boom. Now we're down to 38. And a 33. And then, but if we chuck on, there we go, we're up to 100, 102. I think we had 105 at one point. But that dispelling of the debuffs, that anti-healing debuff we put on, we can see our healing and rockets right up for us, which is fantastic. So we want that. We want it to hit as many people as possible. And the reason I prefer Midan over anyone else is the fact that she's an HP based healer. That means she can take hits longer. So when we enter the boss phase, let's start. I mean, the boss is just tickling us at the moment. It's not a major issue for us. But when we get into the full boss phase and his attack keeps increasing, these big AoEs he's going to be doing is going to be hitting us as well. So if we can boost our way of taking damage, like supplying ourselves with more HP, if we're an HP based healer, which would be brilliant, then we stand more chance of getting places. This is why I sort of rate Midan myself over everyone else. I think she is possibly the best going, I think. That'd be my take on it. So that's us done there, no great shakes. So that's my take on why she's the best and where I prefer her. I've got Elwyn as well, so I do use her as well, but she's attack based, so she's somewhat weaker for taking those hits than Midan is. Now let's not forget, if you're on the Forerunner server, there's the Archer as well, who gets that buff. So whenever we get updates, there's the Archer as well, whatever her name is. Nis, I think it is, something, isn't it, like that? Archer, healer, there she is there, and her skills, her ultimate there, and then shortly that's going to have and dispels or something like that. That's what it eventually has in there. I'll flash it up, there we go. Okay, from now there you go, that's from the Forerunner account, there you go, that's what it will actually read. So when we can get updates, should be very usable as well. So if you're watching this in the future, we've had some updates, then use her as well. It should be fantastic. So let's jump into the fight. Let's come into a challenge. Now, where you place everyone is vitally important, so do keep that in mind. You can skip the start. I can place my mid-an here because, well, I cover 4, and that's about as good as it's going to get for me, I think. Probably going to place Elwyn here so I can double cover 2 of them, which does fantastically well for me. Sadie over here. Got some shield up. Rage regen. There we go. Now while we're going through this part here, I don't have to worry about the damage she's receiving or the anti-heal stack she's getting. Now the reason I don't have to worry about it is because we're over-healing her anyway and she's doing enough damage. As soon as we enter, here we go, the boss rush phase, then we will want to cleanse that off so we can get some proper healing done on her. And once mid-an's done and we've had another couple of rounds, there we go, I will now do Elwyn's, and I'm going to try make sure that I keep either Elwyn up or Elwyn, and then I will wait until the boss does a 3-hitter, and then I will do mid-an, and then mid-an, Elwyn, and I will keep going that way through it. That's my rough plan. So I don't want to do both of them at the same time. 2, 3, there we go. Have another little go there. Now the other ultimates I'm not overly fussed about using. I'm happy to trigger them off almost whenever I like, as long as we can keep one of our debuffers on the go as often as possible. That's what's going to really help us and really tick over our damage. You do not, if they're overlapping like I've done, trigger them off at the same time. And you could realistically look to see how good or bad. So if you just heard the sound breaking up, I had a small problem with the mic, so there's about 1.5 minutes where I'm just voicing over on this. So the plan roughly is to have Elwyn and mid-an just going opposite from each other, and then I am boosting them up with Hollow as well. So that's fundamentally the plan that keeps me going for as long as I possibly can. I don't have the gear to supply things like Elwyn with enough mitigation to damage to keep her going, so for me at a lower end or a lower scale of gear and champions and skills and skill crystals, that sort of thing, I'm using an HP based healer, and she works fantastically well. She really does, and the longer I can keep these anti-healing debuffs off, the more I can heal the statues for, and the more damage they're going to do for me. So that is pretty much the plan and the run, and it's just a matter of keep going through it like that. Now, as we can see, I am pretty much out of luck now, and this is very much towards the end of the run. Oh, I think I'm going to need a lot more. And then she's the last girl standing. There we go. Double S, that's the best I've done. I think if I tweak it a bit more, maybe I can get a bit further, but I only need to get the S. So that's me. I mean, there's people who go so much further in this, and their gear is so much better. I'm struggling to even gear everyone, to be honest. So that's my new record. Let's have a quick look at the gear. I've gone mostly into invigoration. Probably one of my better geared healers, to be honest. Got full attack everywhere else. Artifact. We've gone for the attack speed on all the heroes. ADC artifact's not fully rolled up. Skills aren't all done. And the gear now starts to take somewhat of a nosedive. Attack speed and HP. We're just trying to get round to her ultimate to try and contain as much damage as we're doing. We're not really overly relying on her for the healing. She has quite a nice heal, but it's just mostly there for her ultimate to try and get some physical damage and damage reduction on the go. You know, take 50% less damage, but they still take that debuff as far as I'm aware. Who else? There we go. Almost no skills done. We haven't fully upgraded. Gear. There we go. Attack and attack speed, and then attack. I mean, it's not. We're sort of quickly running out of gear, and we are quickly running out of artifacts and mithril. There we go. We want her ultimate to come back round as fast as possible. Not too worried about the increase by 5%. The rage regen is what I'm after. I want that to come around as quickly as possible for her. Skills are all done. She's an epic, so we fully awakened her. And then the gear is probably on the, for my account and where I am, on the better side of it. It's not fantastic by any stretch of the imagination, but it's probably as good as I'm getting. Hollow, we didn't even have an artifact on Hollow, so we probably might be able to get a bit more if we stick on Honor, but have a look. I am now fast running out of artifacts to put on people, even if we put one on her. There we go. We attack speed, rage regen, trying to get back around there as quickly as possible. And that's all it is to this. You've got to keep those debuffs off your Ionas to actually try and get some damage out, and that's essentially it. The rest of the healers there just go for broke on the healing, so try and stagger the healing as you can go. HP based healers I feel are better because they can take the big slam from the boss a bit longer, so that would be the way I go for that. And I don't think S is too far from a lot of people, but Midan absolutely top draw for this. I know lots of people are going to say it's Iona, but for me, my gear isn't so good, so that HP side of things really comes into it. If you've got better champions that can heal for more and do the dispelling, and you've got gear to be able to get the HP on them, then absolutely fantastic for you. But the likes of me, that's not really happening so much. Right, so I hope you found that helpful. I hope you found it useful. That's where I am, top 17. I'm quite happy with that. I've got the S, which is fundamentally what I'm actually after for the Odyssey quests. So yeah, that one's done, and then 2 days time looks like we're trying to get S on this chapter as well. So that's roughly what I'm going for. Now bear in mind, Elwyn, Midan, is I rate her because the HP and she lasts longer. But do bear in mind, she's not going to be your best healer. She won't be chucking out the heals as quickly. She's going to be doing that dispel to get rid of those debuffs on the statues. So bear that in mind. She's not there mostly for the healing. You just want her to cycle through. There are plenty of other healers you can have to actually chuck out healing. She is there to motor through and get those debuffs removed. So if you're running her with a hollow, make sure that she's on cooldown when you trigger hollow as well, just to help yourself get through and back to that. Okay. Bear that in mind. She's top draw because she's removing that debuff, not because of the healing she's doing. Let's separate that before everyone tells me down in the comments I'm wrong about her. So there we go. But let the games begin. Right, that's me done. Thank you very much. I hope you found this useful. I hope it helps you out. Okay, make sure you use your Midan. Make sure you're using a hollow in there or some rage regen. Try and get that back round as quickly as possible so you can get as many of those debuffs off, and you can keep the statues alive as long as possible, and they can do as much damage on the boss. Right, again, me done. I will see you in a video going tomorrow. Thank you very much for your time. In the way out the door, if you do the old thumbs up, that would help me out massively. Any questions or comments that you have about making teams better, anything like that, just leave them down in the comments below. We'll try them out and see how it goes. And thank you very much for your time. I'll see you again soon. Cheers. Goodbye.